Recording in progress.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to bring the Washoe County Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, August 2nd to order. If we could get a roll call to establish quorum, please.
Sarah Chavilchek.
Here.
Francine Donchik.
Here.
Michael Flick.
Here.
Daniel Lazareschi.
Here.
Kate Nelson is currently not present. Rob Pierce.
Present.
Pat Phillips.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, ladies. Could we get the ethics law announcement, please? Oh, of course I am.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could now, Ms. Guston, get the ethics law announcement, please?
Certainly. Commissioners are reminded that if with respect to any matter or any person coming before the commission today, you've received a gift or loan, you have a pecuniary interest, you have a commitment in a private capacity such as a family, employment, business, or similar relationship, or if you've provided representation or counseling before an agency to a person or entity for compensation within the last year on a matter that's being considered here today, please remember to disclose that gift, loan, interest, commitment, or prior representation at the time the matter is considered. And furthermore, please abstain from deliberation or voting on the matter if it's clear that the gift, loan, interest, commitment, or prior representation would materially affect the independence of judgment of a reasonable person. Commissioners are also reminded that under the Planning Commission rules, if you've had any contact outside this meeting with any persons interested in a matter coming before you today, please disclose the nature of that contact at this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pelham, if we could have the appeals process.
Certainly. Most decisions rendered by the Planning Commission are appealable to the Board of County Commissioners. If you disagree with the decision of the Planning Commission and you qualify as an aggrieved person or party, you may appeal in writing within 10 calendar days from the date that the decision being appealed is reduced to writing, filed with the Secretary of the Planning Commission, and mailed to the original applicant in the proceedings being appealed, in accordance with Washoe County Code. Please call planning staff immediately at 328-6100 for information on the appeal procedure and application fee.
Thank you, Mr. Pelham. Ladies, at this time, do we have any public comment either in the chambers or via Zoom?
Yes, in chambers we have Danny Klaus. If you could please, Cleos, if you could please state your first and last name for the record.
Danny Cleus for the record. I just have a question for you all. We have a developer that put in a tentative map for out there in the North Valleys. Now he wants to change that tentative map, extremely change it. And I'm wondering how come it doesn't come back to you guys or the county commission. I'm not talking about a little bit. He has 118 acres. He wants to change 30 of those acres to one house per 5 acres. So that's 6 houses, just so he can keep his tentative map going instead of coming back and redoing it again because nothing's been done out there in the valleys and he doesn't want to change it. Rumor has it, after he does these 6 homes on the 5 acres, he wants to go back and subdivide the 5 acres so he can get all of his little houses in. Now that's just rumor, but how can a developer do that, extremely change it like that, and not have to come back in front of a board? Thank you.
No further public comment in chambers.
And I have no hands raised via Zoom.
All right, ladies, thank you. At that time, I will close public comment and bring it to item 6, approval of the August 2nd agenda for tonight.
Chair Donchak,
Yes, Vice Chair Chavilchek.
I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Phillips, second.
All right, thank you. We have a first and a second. Any approvals? All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Next on the agenda is item 7, approval of the July 5, 2022 draft minutes for our last meeting. Do we have a motion for approval?
So move.
Thank you, Commissioner Flick. Do we have a second?
Lazareski, I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussions or corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. At that point, we move right along to item 8, public hearings. Mr. Pelham, if you could, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have item 8A, abandonment case number WAB 22-0010 for Martinson Metzger for possible action for hearing, discussion, and possible action to approve an abandonment of Washoe County's interest in 40-foot wide government patent easements for access and public utilities along the eastern, western, and northern sides of the parcel at 6740 Legend Vista. The parcel number is 049-07050. And we have Julie Olander representing planning staff.
Good evening, Julie Olander with Planning and Building. So this is a request for abandonment of the Washoe County's interest in a 40-foot wide government patent easement for access and public utilities along the eastern, western, and northern sides of the parcel at 6740 Legend Vista. And I should clarify that tonight you are only able to abandon the roadway portion, not the public utilities. The applicant would have to go before and get a deed from the public utilities themselves to get that abandoned. So there was a record of survey done on this parcel that removed a lot line that was down the middle of the parcel dividing it. And at that time, they asked to abandon portions of the easement. However, abandonments can only be done by a board, a hearing board, and so it can be done, it has to come before you. And that was never complete, that was never done. So that record of survey only removed the lot line. So the lot is now 1 lot versus 2, which had been previously the situation. So here's the parcel, and you can see the hatched areas where they're proposing to remove the public right-of-way only, not the right-of-way, not the public utility easement. That has been clarified to me by our land surveyor that cannot be abandoned. The applicant would have to go to the utility companies to get the utility easement portion abandoned. And as I said, they're trying to abandon the north, the east, west, and north, and they want to preserve the south. So the south would remain, and it would be provide connectivity to Caswell Lane, and then I'll show you a map here. Oops, there, I went too far. So you can see the southern portion would easement would remain, and that would provide access to the parcels along that roadway that's there, and then also down along Cedar Springs roadway, so that the parcels in the area still have roadway access. The abutting properties were noticed of this proposed abandonment. I did not receive any phone calls or emails. And the application was sent to the various agencies and departments, and those comments are included in your staff report, and the ones that had conditions are included in Exhibit A under the conditions of approval. Staff can make all the findings as shown in the staff report, and I provide a possible motion. The applicant is available if you have any questions for him. He's here, but he does not have a presentation.
At this point, are there any questions for the applicant or for Julie?
Yes, I do. Julie, my packet here I don't see any reference to Exhibit A. Or any of the,
Any of the exhibits.
all we have is 6 pages.
That's all I have.
So you didn't get any of the exhibits?
This is Recording Secretary Lacey Kerfoot. That would have been my oversight, that did not go out in the packet. If it pleases the board, I can go make some copies real quick. I can pull it up on the screen.
I'm looking to council to,
Yeah, I'm just looking to see online what's been included. Let's see here.
It did go out via the email link that they sent us.
Okay, it just wasn't the paper.
Okay, yeah, because online I'm seeing, it looks like it's a 19-page document that's been posted on the website. So, I don't know, I'm assuming that was,
That would have been my oversight.
I'm assuming that was posted when the agenda was posted. Which I'm hearing Lacey says is yes. So the materials have been available to you.
I'm just,
If we need to take
What
a
was-
recess and have
No.
you review them, that's perfectly acceptable as well.
no, it's just what we received as commissioners in our packet was incomplete, so.
Okay, okay. I don't see an open meeting, there's not an open meeting law issue with that.
Okay.
Okay.
It is available on the website, so it has been available to you and the public simultaneously.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'd like it noted that this is what, the copies that they send us is what I keep all my notes on. And it helps direct me so that when I come to the meeting, I have all the information.
Any other questions or comments? At this point, before we go back, I want to put it out, open it to public comment. Is there any public comment, either in-house or via Zoom for this item?
No public comment in chambers.
And I have no hands raised via Zoom.
All right,
I do have no more questions.
but I'll bring it back. Hold on. I'm going to close public comment and bring it back to the commission. Mr. Flick, you,
Yes, just sort of to recap, by this action, nobody is getting landlocked around there.
no, they would not be allowed. That's what Julie just
Is
explained.
that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Julie Olander, for the record, maybe
All right.
give us that pitch, that,
And-
we'll put the, get
And
that
in the
picture back up.
future, on the north, I think it's the northern boundary, where it seems to be already a roadway, is that going to be widened at any time?
So that, just to clarify, here's a map showing you where the.
I got
okay,
that.
Okay, so if we go down to the, so
All right,
up
see
above.
up above,
Yeah,
That's
those
not a roadway.
houses.
north of it, there's a roadway,
That's not a roadway.
the dirt road, obviously. Is that, in your crystal ball, is that ever going to be developed?
I don't see,
There's not a road
It's not a road, that's just a demarcation of the property
Yeah,
lines.
that's just the
Property line
line showing the
overlay.
parcel
Well,
lines.
that's just a property line.
Right, the
property
black
line,
lines
so-
you're seeing are the roads.
Okay.
The properties to
All
the
right, well,
north.
then that
yeah,
answers that
would never
question.
probably want a roadway there. And so, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Vice Chair Civilcheck, you had a question?
Yes, and just for clarification, you said this, but I just want to make sure I have it correct in my head. This is an abandonment of roadway, not public utility.
Yes, Julie Olander, for the record. Yeah, I had a conversation with the land surveyor just about a half an hour ago.
Yeah,
there
because
was
it
some
still says public
I
utility.
know, and I just wanted to
Okay.
clarify that because he made it very clear to me. There was a question about the record of survey that was done on removing the lot line, because that record of survey also referred to abandoning some of the easements. However, he made it perfectly clear to me that there's no way that you can abandon easements, roadway easements, through a deed. That has to be brought before a board of that jurisdiction, and that the only way that the public utility easements can be abandoned is by having a deed brought before to those utility easements, and they would sign off on that abandonment of those utility easements.
Thank
That easement for utility easements.
Thank you.
Commissioners, do we have any other questions? Hearing none, I will say if anyone has a call for a motion. Mr. Phillips,
Phillips?
I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained in the staff report and information received during the public hearing, the Washoe County Planning Commission approve abandonment case number WAB 22-0010 for Chad Martinson with the conditions included in Exhibit A to this matter. Having made all three findings in accordance with Washoe County Code Section 110.806.20.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. Do we have a second?
This is Rob for the record. I'll second it.
Did we ask for public comment on this?
Yes.
We did? Okay, thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. And then moving right along, next on the agenda is item 9, chair and commission items. Item 9A, is there any future agenda items that the commission would like?
Phillips?
Go ahead, Commissioner Phillips.
I'd like to see transportation and roads back here again. It seems like a lot of the issues that we're facing with the development would talk about plans, what is involved, what is the timeline, and what can be done to improve some of the concerns.
Does anyone else have any future agenda items at this time?
Well, my concern along with the plans, I mean, we have to plan. But in order for that plan to be implemented, you got to have the money. And I think there has to be a financial part of the master plan on how you're going to fund this thing.
Well, okay, we're talking about future agenda items. Commissioner Flick, how are you tying that into a future agenda item, since you're talking about funding? What specifically are you asking for?
Well, if you're talking about infrastructure for roads, for water, extension of sewer requirements that are going to be laid on this rezoning, if you will.
So you're
And I know some of it comes from the developer, but certainly not all of it when it's has a regional impact.
So are you kind of tying this into the Envision 40 project and things you'd like to see come from that as that moves forward? Because I'm not sure what we can ask staff at this point to bring back to us, because it's such a very large.
I'm not sure either, quite frankly.
That's what I was trying to clarify.
But I know that you can have beautiful plans, but if you don't have the dough, it's just a picture. And so many times we get caught up in planning these things, which is great. But like I said, if you don't have the money there to implement them in a phased, orderly manner, then you know, the plan is not going to be realized.
Madam Chair, a
Yes,
clarification. I think that one of the things we have to take into consideration is that a lot of what is required for transportation and for funding is the state and the federal. Would it be possible for the county to, when the time comes, give us some information of what direction the government relations people, the staff that go down to the legislature are going to be proposing? I don't know if that can be done, but that's why I'm asking.
Vice Chair Civilcheck?
Thank you, Chair. Just a point of order question for maybe council and staff. Funds and that kind of stuff is not under under this Planning Commission purview. Am I correct?
That's generally correct.
So when we're looking at whatever comes before us, a master plan amendment or a tentative map, or we're looking at what it comes under the county code as to what we're reviewing. And I mean, we always talk about traffic and we always get into the weeds about that and water, but in terms of funding that, That is not our jurisdiction.
That's correct, yes. And this agenda item is really just to request future agenda items from staff that you'd like to see,
Yes.
staff report back to you on. So.
Thank you, council.
So if I may, so Commissioner Phillips, is it maybe you were maybe looking for an RTC update? Which, because RTC does periodically come before this body to give transportation updates for the region.
I'm not so worried about the funding as to what direction the county is going to implement. How can I word this?
Yeah.
I have been concerned with what I make my decisions on is what comes before us. Does it solve a problem or does it create a problem? And I like to know a little bit ahead of time if under our purview there's something that we can know to help us make better decisions and to help guide the county. Does that make sense? No, okay.
So maybe you might, what I would suggest is, and through the chair, is maybe that you talk with staff to see, just parse it out in terms of to see if it does come under our purview.
Or reach out to Trevor with an email of some of the questions you have, and he'll be able to respond back as to whether or not it's something that staff can help with, or it's something that's really not.
But
within
not
our
before us.
purview. Right.
Okay. That clarifies it.
Okay. So have we discussed future agenda items at this point? Okay. Item 9B is request for information from staff. Commissioner Phillips, you have a request?
I would like to move my request to the next item.
Okay.
Okay, so there are no requests for information from staff at this point, correct? Okay. Moving right along. Item 10, directors and legal counsel's item. So, Mr. Pelham, do you have any report on any previous planning commission items for us, sir?
I do, Madam Chair. For the record, Roger Pelham with Washoe County Planning. On July 12th, the WMPA 22-0005, the Verdi SOI rollback, was heard by the Board of County Commissioners, and that was approved. And during that same meeting, WMPA 22-0001, Donovan Ranch, which had been denied, that denial was reversed, and that master plan amendment was approved also by the BCC.
Thank you, Mr. Pelham. Ms. Gustin, do you have any legal information or updates for us at this time?
Nothing for me today.
Thank you very much. Hearing none. I didn't touch anything. Hearing none. We'll move on to public comment. Is there any public comment either in chambers or via Zoom at this time?
There is no public comment in chambers.
And I have no hands raised via Zoom.
Then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll join a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned.